The automatic doors of the Super Save whooshed open as I trudged through, my work boots still caked with dried concrete. It was 8:30 on a Thursday, and all I wanted was a cold water and a protein bar. I headed for the express checkout, where the sign clearly stated 10 items or less. That's when I saw her. Karen Fitzgerald stood at the register with a cart so full it looked like she was preparing for the apocalypse. The teenage cashier, Tyler, was sweating bullets. Karen's voice carried across the front of the store as she declared that her time was far more valuable than anyone else's, and that rules were merely suggestions for people like her. She claimed to be a Platinum Rewards member with the divine right to use any lane she pleased. I, holding my 2 items, finally spoke up, pointing out the open regular lanes. Karen spun around so fast I thought she might give herself whiplash. She informed me in a voice dripping with condescension that people in my tax bracket couldn't possibly understand the demands on someone of her social standing. She had a charity gala planning meeting at 9 o'clock. The line behind me was growing, an elderly man, a young mother with a crying baby, but Karen remained oblivious to the chaos. She began unloading her cart with deliberate slowness. When Tyler tentatively suggested she move, she demanded to speak to his manager, threatening to have him fired for discrimination. That's when things escalated beyond reason. Karen noticed my water bottle and protein bar sitting on the edge of the belt. With a dramatic sweep of her arm, she knocked both items onto the floor, sending my water bottle rolling under the candy display. She announced that if I was in such a hurry, I should have arrived earlier. Besides, construction workers like me probably got paid by the hour anyway, so what difference did it make? The entire front of the store went silent. The young mother had already pulled out her phone and was recording the entire incident. Tyler grabbed the intercom, his voice cracking slightly as he called for a manager immediately. The manager, a no-nonsense woman named Janet, took one look at the situation and calmly asked Karen to move to a regular lane. Karen's response was to demand Janet's employee identification number and threaten a lawsuit for harassment. She claimed this was a conspiracy to humiliate her because she drove a luxury car. Janet's expression never changed. She pulled out her phone and made a call to security. Within minutes, 2 security guards appeared and began moving Karen's cart away from the express register. Karen shrieked like a banshee, but the guards continued wheeling her groceries to customer service while Janet explained that she was no longer welcome to make purchases that evening. The other customers began sharing their own Karen encounters. She was notorious throughout Riverside. The elderly man mentioned she'd once demanded an employee carry her bags to her car in a thunderstorm. Karen pulled out her phone, threatening to call corporate, the news, and her lawyer simultaneously. Janet calmly informed her that the store had security footage of her knocking my items to the floor, which could be considered assault, and asked if she really wanted to involve law enforcement. The mention of potential criminal charges finally penetrated Karen's bubble of entitlement. Her bravado crumbled. She tried to backtrack, claiming it was an accident, that she'd been having a stressful day. But Janet stood firm, informing her that she was banned from the store for 30 days. As security escorted Karen toward the exit, she announced she would be taking her considerable business elsewhere. A spontaneous round of applause erupted from customers and staff alike. Through the windows, we could see her in the parking lot gesticulating wildly on her phone, utterly defeated. The next week, Tyler told me the rest of the story. Karen had tried to send her husband, but he seemed relieved when Janet explained the situation, actually apologizing for his wife's behavior. But karma wasn't done. It turned out that the customer recording the incident was a member of the charity organization whose gala Karen had been planning. The video made its way to the board of directors, who were mortified. They held an emergency meeting. Karen was removed from her position as Gala Planning Committee chair effective immediately. The letter, which was posted on the community Facebook page, stated her behavior was inconsistent with the charitable values of compassion and respect for all individuals regardless of their occupation or social status. She was also banned from attending the gala she'd spent 6 months planning. Karen Fitzgerald, who believed her social standing granted her immunity from the rules, was stripped of the very title and event she had used to justify her egregious behavior.